Okay, good morning. Welcome to Ag Talk and Raw. It is September 30th, Sunday, September 30th, and the sun is finally shining. I don't know for how long, but I'm going to talk about the weather because, the weather and crop updates and things like that, because I do live in an area where there are other crops grown like corn and soybeans, wheat. Not much barley, not much alfalfa. Timmy Corn Picker, he's got some alfalfa. He made some nice hay, too, by the way. Looked good, anyway. But the weather has just been a thorn in my ass. And what I'm looking at here is the 10-day forecast, as my telephone will tell me what I'm going to have. In the last couple of... Yeah, see these cocksuckers? They lie. They just fucking lie. I'm sorry about my language, but yesterday when I looked at this, it was all sunshine. Now we're back to storms. So it's looking like Tuesday, 40% chance of storms. Then Wednesday and Thursday, it's going to be mostly sunny. And then on Friday, mostly a chance of storms. And then Saturday, a chance of storms. So when you're trying to catch up for the summer that you've lost, and there are people out there in this world that are just thrilled to have to call you up and tell you, why haven't you made my hay? I see you made hay in other places. Well, yes, some farms are drier than other farms, and you do end up with going back to the drier pieces just to get something done, some form of salvation, to salvage the crop that you've put, almost $200,000 into, just in fertilizer. And fertilizer and herbicide, yeah, about $200,000. Between fertilizer and herbicides, $200,000, just to get this hay crop up growing and doing well. And, of course, then you can only make not even half of what you would like to make. It's quite frustrating, to say the least. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to get it done. I'm just saying that with every passing day in the fall here, it is going to become more and more difficult to get it done. I may be waiting for the Mo Bacon Bale deal, the frozen weather, which I don't even know if we're going to get frozen weather. If you look at these maps here, I'm going to show you. It's called Farm Logs. Farm Logs, I think it's Farm Logs. And let's just do home, okay? We do home. And if you look at, and I'm going to show you this, there's two lines here. Let it focus a bit here. You see the darker line? That is the rainfall for our area right now. The lighter line is till January of an average year. If you look at the dark line, what you're going to see is that the dark line is a little bit above the light line for the year. And I'm going to just read some of these rainfalls. On the 22nd, nothing. 24th, 4/10 of an inch. 25th, we had 0.19 tenths of an inch. On the 26th, 1.12 inches. 27th, 1.5 tenths. On the 28th, 1.97 inches. On the 29th, 0.03 inches. And, of course, today is the 30th, and it hasn't rained yet. But it's coming. Don't worry. I'm sure. We are at 50.34 inches for the year. So far, it is September 30th, 50.34. We don't usually get 50 inches. I think our average rainfall is like 45. So we're somewhere around 5 inches above our average rainfall for the year, not just September. So anybody that's watching this, you can understand how wet we really truly are. I have about 250 acres of hay laying on the ground. I actually had Dad go out the other day before this last 2 inches of rain and rake up a farm. Just rake it up. Get it up so that it doesn't disappear through the growing grass. I am going to do that today. A little bit more of that today. I'm going to send Joseph out with the Peckway rake just as a salvage motion, I guess. Just salvage the hay that I've got laying on the ground in hopes that it will dry out over today and tomorrow. I may be able to, if I can get the Heston baler out on the ground, I can flip it over again and see if I can get it to dry out. I don't know. It's just been, maybe you can see the frustration in my face. Will I survive the year? Yes, I will survive. I mean, even if I only make 1,000 more bales, I will be able to survive the year. 2018 will suck. 7,000 bales, not an ideal year at all for me whatsoever. I do have bills to pay, and it's going to be a skinny year at that point. But I'm pretty confident that I will get it all made and shipped and sold or whatnot, because I'm pretty confident guy, get it done. So, but for these guys out west that are getting rain now, and I have to go back to some of the guys that I watch on YouTube. Now, it looks like the How Farms Works boys doing good. They got started. They got corn coming off. I don't know if they did any soybeans yet, but I did see that they had done some corn. Said they polished it up, and it's running good. So that's good. I see that Zach Johnson, Minnesota millennial farmer, he seems to be at a standstill. He hasn't started yet as of, I think, the 28th. He was in rain. And he touched on a point in his videos that is very important for everyone. Everyone, please, take your time. Yes, we're behind. Yes, tempers can flare when we're behind. Yes, machinery breaks more often when it's wet, and yes, people get hurt. So his daughter had fallen off of a tractor and has a concussion. And she's only a little girl, and I think they downplayed the concussion part of it. My daughter had a concussion, and it threw her into depression. She ended up in hospital over the course of 4 years. My daughter, Haley, is a beautiful girl. I love her very much, but it seemed like when she got that concussion, her life spiraled out of control, and things happened that really shouldn't have happened if she hadn't gotten the concussion. So, Zach, take care of that little girl. It can lead to bigger, more nasty problems. So safety first, everyone. Safety first. I still have all 10 fingers and 10 toes. I did get cut the other day doing something that I was being extraordinarily careful with. And you wouldn't even know. I didn't even know. It felt like a pinch, I was like, damn, what the hell? And I'm actually wearing the pair of jeans that it happened in. And you can see that little hole right there. On the bale ejector, on the Krone baler, because the hay runs over the top of it, it's in a constant state of wear. So those little spikes, they wear sharper and sharper and sharper. And it was so sharp that it just went right through my jeans and right through all the layers of my skin. It didn't cut into the muscle. So you know how I hate doctors, right? I really don't like doctors. I think they have their place in the world, but I think people are too quick to run to the doctor. I mean, they get the sniffles, they need antibiotics. They get the farts, they got to go and get some kind of fucking whatever. They get, instead of changing diet and your way of life, they always run for the magic pill to the doctor. And in most cases, the magic pill has side effects that require you to have 4 or 5 other magic pills to take care of the first side effect. And before you know it, you're depressed, you're overweight, you've got a drug addiction, alcohol problem. Your family hates you because you went to the doctor for the hiccups and you ended up with opioid addiction, which leads to constipation and then more drugs and more drugs and more drugs. Now, once upon a time, and I'm going to look into the archive drawer. Here it is. I have chronic heartburn. Why do I have chronic heartburn? Chronic heartburn, and this is the generic. You can probably read that. It says Nexium. Okay, so this is a generic form of Nexium. And I had chronic heartburn, so every day I would take that magic pill, and it made my heartburn go away. I mean, every day I just pop one of those, and then I would pop one of these little aspirins, which I do take aspirin for inflammatory problems that I have from Lyme disease, and it works. One a day, thank you very much. It's what is this one? It's 200 tablets, and they are like I don't know, it's NSAID pain reliever. What the frig is the This is a 325 milligram. I was taking a lower dose than that. I think it was like a 270 milligram one at one point. But whatever. I don't take them every day. I just take them when I wake up in the morning and I feel my joints are a little funky. I'll take an aspirin, and it does take the pain away. I don't have excessive bleeding. I don't have any problems like that. But back to the Nexium. Okay, so it's safe, right? You can buy this. Go down to Walmart. Walk down the aisle, and you can buy a big-ass bottle. It's purple. I think it's got purple lettering, and I may even have one of those floating around here somewhere. And, yeah, so I have so much stuff in here. This is a detention slip. What is this? I don't even know what the hell this is. Oh, I know what that is. Anyway, yes. You go down the aisle, and you buy the little Nexium, and you take it forever. Right? Oh, it's okay. You can take that forever. Forever and ever. So I started having problems. Weird little problems. Like, I started to swell up. If you look at my videos from, say, 2013, 2014, I had double chin coming on. And I wasn't eating a lot. And I seemed to have a lot of water weight gain. And in 2014, when I was in Europe, in Belgium, with my daughter at the New Holland plant, I started getting heart palpitations. My heart was going like beating really erratic. I thought I got drugged. I went down to the Belfry Tower. If you've ever been to Belgium, you got to go to the Belfry Tower. It is in Bruges, Belgium. Bruges, Belgium, fairy tale town. I mean, it was totally destroyed during World War I, but what a gorgeous town. They rebuilt it in the 1920s to look exactly like it did in medieval times. Beautiful town. Belgium is boring. I hate to say it. I loved it. I loved Belgium. If you want to unwind from life, take a deep breath, get on an airplane, go to Belgium. You can go to Ypres, you can sit in a pub, you can go walk the streets. They have sex shops there if you're into really kinky, weird shit. They sell chocolate that is to die for. When they say Belgium beer and Belgium chocolate, yes, very good. They have a very heavy fish diet, which kind of surprised me, but good food, good beer, good, calm. Find your chi in Bruges, Belgium. Ypres. Antwerp was a little bit more industrial. Just really enjoyed my trip to Belgium, but I thought I was going to die. I was in front of the Belfry Tower, and on the right and left-hand side, there are two basically fast food joints for Europe. You know, McDonald's you're not going to find in Bruges. But it's really... It's just a great place to go visit. Anyway, so it's 10 o'clock at night. My daughter is like, Dad, I don't want to go out with you. You're just an old fart, and I'm 14, and I don't want to be dealing with you. So I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to sleep. And I was not into sleeping. I love my daughter. I'm so glad that I took her on this trip. But when it comes down to it, Bruges is for lovers. It is a place where you go with someone that you are just head over heels in love with and just absorb the culture, absorb the way it is there. The nightlife, be careful, man. Those Belgians, they can fight. You know, they can fight. I watched one of the American guys that I was on this tour with come flying through the revolving door at our hotel, do a face plant, and slide across the floor because he was running from the bar where the fucking idiot had picked a fight. It actually took one of the New Holland representatives to break up the fight. But nightlife anywhere can get you killed. And, these guys were just, it's like the first time away from their wives and children in a long time, and they just cut loose and were being really super stupid and silly. So, and that just leads me to tell you that I wasn't in the nightlife. I had my 14-year-old daughter. I was in the hotel room with her, and then I went out on my own. Really, it was fun. Just don't get me wrong. It was a blast. But I ate the hamburger. I ate the French fries. I brought them back. I had one for my daughter and one for myself. I brought this thing, and I go back, and I'm laying in bed after eating this thing, and all of a sudden, my heart goes crazy. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I really was about ready to shake her awake and say, hey, listen, I have to go to a hospital. I don't know where there's a hospital, but I need to go to a hospital because there's something wrong. So I thought, you know what? I hate hospitals. I hate doctors. And I certainly don't want to be in a hospital at a doctor's office or whatever in Bruges, Belgium. I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I'm going to meditate. If there's such a thing as meditation and self-learning meditation, it's what I did on that night in February of 2014 in a beautiful hotel in Belgium, Bruges, Belgium, as I laid there and I controlled my breathing. I controlled, because I was in panic mode. I was like, holy shit, I'm going to have a fucking heart attack here. And my 14-year-old daughter's going to watch me die, you know. So anyway, so I start to calm down. I calm myself down, and I'm doing this breathing. And finally, it was like this calm came over me. My heart regulated, and I was like, good God, what the hell is wrong with me? So next morning I get up, I pop my Nexium, I take my aspirin, and boom, off I go. Same thing. Now I'm in England. I'm in London, England, in a hotel room with my daughter, who is now just unruly. She has had enough of this trip. We've been there for 9 days. She wants to go home. I think she was on her period, to be honest with you, because that's the kind of bitchiness I was dealing with. And like I said, I love my daughter dearly. But, you know, sometimes pissed off teenagers, my heart starts going freaking nuts again. I'm like, there is really something wrong. So I had an iPhone. I actually still have that iPhone. It is the original iPhone. I think this is an iPhone 2. If you can see the difference between this one and this one, isn't that nuts? I mean, even had the nice John Deere case on a New Holland tour. I'd like to fire this thing up. I don't know if it will or not. Maybe it won't. So, no, the battery's completely dead. So anyway, so I found Wi-Fi, and I start searching the internet. And my first thought is, I had that hamburger last night in Belgium, and now I'm in England, and I'm starting to have the same freaking thing. What is going on? So I'm searching the internet, and I said, you know what? I wonder if it's the Nexium. So I type in the Nexium and side effects of Nexium, and I learned a lot about Nexium, drugs, doctors, and side effects, and what long-term exposure to a product that was only really meant to be used for a maximum of 90 days was. Nexium, if you're using Nexium and you're using it more than 90 days, you will develop heart problems, valve issues, heart misfires, like it won't beat right. So I stopped immediately taking this. When I stopped taking that immediately, then I realized, oh my God, I'm going to have heartburn like forever bad on the rest of this trip. So I had like 2 or 3 days left on this trip, and I'm like, holy shit, what am I going to do? Tums. I can get Tums anywhere. So I go down and I find a thing, they call it the apothecary, which is basically a pharmacy, and I buy their equivalent to, it's chalk. Might as well just eat chalk. That's how bad it tasted. It didn't taste like anything. Tums, Rolaids, and I just grabbed a bunch of them. I paid for them. I put them in my pocket, and boom, I'm on my way out of here. So I'm popping these things as I'm going along. We're going by Buckingham Palace. I'm in the, I saw the London Eye, and we're doing the tour of London. It's freaking raining. It was awful. The sun came out. Got a couple pictures of Big Ben. Big Ben is actually the bell within the tower, the clock tower, and just had a good time. But then I get home and I'm still having these fart palpitations, heart palpitations that are just not helping me out at all. So I start to do research when I got home on how to reverse this issue and what it could possibly be. And the water retention was because my heart was not working right. It was destroying my body from the inside out. Did not go to the doctor, just read a lot online, hooked up with my IT girl, and she got me straightened out. She's like, here, you need to take this. Your stomach is out of balance, which your stomach has a lot to do with your well-being, your body. Got my stomach in balance, got my heartburn under control, and I still had problems with my heart. under stress. Now, on a regular day, it would be months. I'd go by 2-3 months, and then all of a sudden I would have these heart palpitations. So in 2015, if you didn't know, my ex-wife decided to drop the hammer on me and cause me a whole world of hurt. And Haley and Joseph, actually, I didn't see my 2 youngest children for 2 years. 2 years. I didn't show it on YouTube. I actually lied to my YouTube following about what had happened, that they didn't want to be on film anymore, which wasn't entirely a lie. But I didn't tell them the entire truth. But like I said about my daughter and her concussion and how it caused depression and other things, it also caused insecurities with her, and she just went from daddy's little girl to daddy's worst enemy. And but whatever, the long story short, in that time I started with the heart palpitations pretty bad. I broke up with my girlfriend Margaret, and at that very same time there were some things that had happened, and I was pissed off at the world. So a few months later, I'm taking the the natural herbs and stuff that I got from Carl and from my IT girl, Deborah Hill. She probably did a lot for me that I wouldn't have done on my own, but got my stress levels down, with Carl's stuff, he had these leafy green shit and ruby red. He just typically just put it in the water. Hydration's another one. Stay away from Gatorade. But I got my nutrients in balance, and it was really weird. They kind of went away, got my stress levels down, and it cost me $57,000 to fight my ex-wife because she was going to have me put in jail and all kinds of stuff. Of course, I had no threat of going to jail, but I had DYFS investigations against me. Both my kids they kind of screwed me over. They didn't stand up to their mother, and I understand it. Maybe most people won't understand it, but I do understand that. The way their mother is, and the way the kids think. See, their mother left them when Joe was 3 and Haley was 4 and Tim was 9. And it really, they loved their mother, and their mother was gone, not gone completely out of their lives, but she was no longer their mother. And in 2015, when this hammer fell, and it was something that was right up my ex-wife's alley, which is drama, trauma, and destruction. And she's always happy and comfortable in that zone. She's only happy when people are miserable around her to mask her miserable life. But my children, their mother was their savior. There was an altercation here with my daughter. I'm not even going to get into that, but I didn't hurt her or anything. But it got trumped up to the point where they found a judge that was more than thrilled to try to throw me in jail and have a lot of problems that way. But anyway, long story short, I knew Teresa from years before. Like, I met her in 2009, and in 2015, in around, I'd say November. It was November. I had been talking to her since August, like, hey, how you doing? She was divorced, and I was out of a relationship, so we're kind of but we liked each other. We always did like each other, and I'm not going to lie about it. I liked her. Even when I was in a relationship with my ex-girlfriend, I thought she was a really cool person, and she is. She's a very cool person. So, November 2015, she says, hey, want to go to North Carolina with me? Got a family event down there, and the rest is history. We got together, and I'm still stemming into this story with my heart palpitations. She says, what the hell's the matter with you? Because I started having heart palpitations while he was down, a little excitement, a little different, around a bunch of Philippine people, and my heart's going like that. And she's like, well, my dad, he was kind of a healer in the Philippines, and he taught me a lot of stuff. So we need to start you on fish oil and other things. So I'm like, fish oil? Okay. So calcium, fish oil, vitamin C, large doses of vitamin C. Had like 1 or 2 episodes of this heart palpitation thing, and 3 years later, I haven't had one in about almost 3 years. So Teresa knows what she's doing. Between her, Carl, and my IT girl, Miss Deborah Hill, Deb Vital Change, if you want to look her up on the internet, Deb at vitalchange.org. I think it's .org. She is a nutritional and well-being coach, health coach. She worked really good. So, anyways, I was always told to stop drinking the coffee. I only drink 1 cup a day. Yes, it causes heartburn. So I take the isotonics that she gave me, and I still do the fish oil and the vitamin C, and I take that one aspirin whenever I feel like I need it. So, enough of me and my heart palpitations and this long-winded story about how I became what I am today. I'm still a strong individual. My heart's running fine. Watch what you take. Be careful. Be safe. And Zach, if you're watching this, your daughter, keep her in a darkened environment. No bright lights. I'm sure the doctor has told you. Coloring books. No reading, no TV, no computer. I know she's a little girl, but people are giving kids Kindles and things, and that blue light is not good for a concussion. That was what happened with my daughter. She just continued, even though she was told, do not do this, she did it anyway. She didn't completely heal. It took a long time, flashing lights, things like that. She's there reading a Kindle when she should have just been doing coloring books. So farm safety. Practice it, preach it, do well. Hopefully she's okay. Anyway, with that being said, weather out west, I don't know how it's doing. I know the weather here, the sun is shining. I mowed my grass, and it's still yesterday, and it's still incredibly wet. I cut ruts in my freaking yard, which I've never done before. And yeah. So I guess we could go and talk about the other thing that happened this week. And I'm going to give you a simple and honest story and opinion about with the farming life and his, I don't get that guy. I really don't. I mean, even today, well, he didn't do it today, but I believe it was yesterday. I'm going to say yesterday. When was this? When did he do this? Thursday. So Thursday, I posted a video that I bought a new baler. I have ordered it. I haven't purchased it, but I had to place the order, and they were okay with if I don't buy it. And it's like, oh, well, it's a good thing he said something because we can order another one in. They will always sell it. They will have no problem selling that baler if I don't buy it. But I do. I have a contract to bale straw in a land far, far away. But they will be delivering that baler to that work site. So a lot of people are like, hey, you need to buy a bigger tractor. Well, no, actually, I don't. The 7810 or the 7530 will run that baler just fine in the land that I will be on. I could run it with the 8120 without any problems, but I need the 8120. It has a loader on it, so I'm not really interested in taking that baler and putting it on the 8120. I could. I mean, I really could put it on the 8120 and then just lease a couple of loader tractors from a dealer down there, which I could very easily and very well do because hauling is expensive. And the hauling charges to haul all this shit down there and haul it all back. It'd probably be cheaper for me to lease a couple of tractors down there, which I will be going down there in the next couple of weeks to check out the job, make sure it is 100% what I want to do, which I believe it is. I've been through that area. It is cool. But anyway, Eric Moser, The Farming Life, he made a video in contradiction to what I had made 3 videos about, which to me, it doesn't make any sense to me why someone would look at the video that I produced and then say, that's not right, you're just a bad farmer, or you have bad farming practices, or those farmers don't allow hunting. Totally missed the point of my videos and then made this shit video on how deer aren't a problem because I shoot 20 a night. I don't think he shoots 20 a night every night. And I can tell you, I did that for many, 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 many years, starting before I was married, shooting 10, 15, 20 deer a night. Sometimes I didn't shoot any a night, just went out and exercised my legs and my shotgun. But there were a lot of nights later on when I got really good at killing deer, because I didn't hunt them, I just killed them. When I got really good at killing deer, it was 10, 7, 20, 15, depending on where and how many I had to shoot. I had so many dead deer on this one farm that the turkey buzzard population was just off the chart. I mean, there was no less than 150 turkey buzzards flying around this 75-acre farm where I had killed literally several hundred deer. And guess what? Every night, it seemed like they just kept coming. It was like a wave of Chinese just keep coming and coming and coming. Or Mexicans or Guatemalans from across the Mexican and U.S. border. That's what it was like. You just couldn't stop them without shooting more and more and more. So, do I hunt anymore? No, I don't hunt. Do I kill deer? I actually gave up killing deer. I don't have to, because I'm not growing corn and soybeans, and I'm not going to fight somebody else's battle with the risk of being arrested for doing so. I just said, fuck it, I'm not doing it anymore. So, anyways, Eric Moser is pissed off because Josh, the Stony Ridge farmer, came to my farm, our farm, the home farm, and he interviewed me, and I took him around in my Model A and the John Deere 60 tractor, and we talked and we bullshitted for several hours. We had a good time. It was a blast. Well, whether he was jealous because Josh didn't ask to go visit with him, or whether he was jealous because of the things that I had, or he was just upset because Josh asked who the guy from across the river was. And I had a very respectful answer. I said, and Josh said, well, you're just going to have to check out One Lonely Farmer's website and see if who the guy from across the river was. And all I said was, I felt bad for him because, even though he's an idiot, and I don't like his farming practices, I don't like his attitude, and I don't like his opinions. If he's a first-generation farmer that is not humble at all, he thinks he knows everything, and he feels like he can go and just insult, rub up against, as he says, rub up against, or rub people the wrong way with no consequence. I really just despise the man. I have no use for him. I don't watch his videos. I don't care to. People will send me love stories about what he says and does, and after a couple of them, I just can't stand it anymore, and I go on the defensive and whatever. I've blocked him. I don't need any inputs from the guy. I just don't. I don't watch his Instagram, and he also, after the incident, he made this half-assed, useless, worthless, shitty apology that was worth nothing. It was worth nothing. If he was really sincere, he would have took down the videos, but he wouldn't because it had me involved in it, so he was getting the highest views that he ever got on those videos. So he's not going to take those down. If you're truly sincerely sorry for what you said and did, you would take those videos down, make the apology, make it sincere. Don't give me this chain of friendship. Give me a fucking break. And then an hour later say, oh, and he sent it to me. He said, my what has he got? A international MX 255 would pull my John Deere backwards. You know what? Eric Moser doesn't understand power to weight ratios, obviously, because that 255 currently weighted at his 29,000 pounds. My 8530 outweighs him by about 5,000 to 7,000 pounds, and it is about 100 and, well, let's just say it's 100 plus horsepower more. I have an IVT transmission. I could pull him backwards at 0.03 miles per hour, and my son is waking up, so I have to go get him. But it doesn't even matter. I just wish he would leave me alone, stop mentioning me, stop watching my videos, because I don't watch his. It could be a reciprocal agreement. You don't watch me, I don't watch you, and no, I'm not going to go do some stupid pull-off and embarrass him, because it just isn't going to happen. So, with that being said, I'm going to sign off for now. I don't know how much of an ag talk this was, but it was what it was. So, enjoy it, and I'll talk to you later.